This is the Go Maluku podcast.
What's up, everyone? Ghazali Ohorella here with a new episode of the Go Maluku podcast, covering day 7 of COP27 over here in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt. We've officially started a new week. It's Monday. However, I'll cover what's been happening on Monday today, which was super interesting. But before that, I'll also touch a little bit upon Saturday. Saturday for a lot of people is just a day of rest and leisure. However, we had one important meeting on Saturday with the COP presidency. As COP is being hosted right now by Egypt, so the Minister of Foreign Affairs invited us for a meeting amongst with Indigenous peoples, representative Indigenous peoples, as well as to listen to our views, our contributions, and our experiences over here at COP. For the last couple of days. So it was interesting because if you think about it, you need. Before, what we used to do as a caucus, we do one per region. So you nominate one representative per region, and you give a little bit of a overview of your own grievances or situations or challenges or experiences from regions. But then you get the idea that, or then you get the it's almost like a compilation, because it's always the same. It's most regions have their same issues. It's similar. There's a little bit of nuance between the regions, but overall it's pretty much similar. And I think that is not a very good use of our time when we are in bilaterals or have meetings that we can use to get a point come across into the negotiations. So, for example, there's one idea is to start with negotiation streams. So you have Indigenous people that are actually taking care of the negotiations, team leaders in negotiations. So let them bring forward the views and the positions of Indigenous peoples first before you go into the into the regional issues or regional challenges. And it's also a lot better in terms of efficiency, because you do see most of the time that when you have a bilateral, you want to keep it short and sweet. If you do one per region first and then go into the topics, then people lose interest. They lose a lot of interest. If you flip it, and you start with the negotiation, because you want that to resonate the most, and provide the regional views more for context, more for the context of so that people understand from in which perspective they need to put those views in. So the meeting with the COP presidency was, I wanted to treat it as a bilateral. I think many, if not all, meetings that are with body representatives should be treated as a bilateral. One is to make your point come across. 2, be efficient with your time. And 3, listen. Listen more than you actually do talk. And I think that should be the first things that pops into our mind when we start planning bilaterals, is when we start preparing for bilaterals. That is something that we need to keep working on, because going into all these bilateral meetings or press conference, one per region, I don't think that is actually helping advance our goal in terms of in the negotiations over here at COP or in Egypt. But it could also the same thing in Bonn, the one per region thing is something that I I do not think that it would help us in terms of making other people understand like where we as Indigenous peoples come from and what we want to see come out of these negotiations. So that was one meeting we had, like the most important meeting we had on Saturday with the COP presidency. It took, well, the COP president came in late, but I got to, fortunately, thank you to the co-chairs for letting me to speak first on Article 6 and loss and damage, and I was able to provide our position papers, the one-page position papers, into the warm hands of the COP president when he was about to leave the meeting room. So that was good, and it's also good to keep a very good, close relationship and a good relationship with his or her right-hand man, because you do see in most meetings there's a COP president, but there's also a pen holder. There's also someone that sits on a master copy, which is the lead negotiator on behalf of the COP president. So it's very good to have a good relationship with those persons. So your vocal point, but also with the pen holder. So that's a tip that I want to give. Quickly going into today, caucus meeting was okay. We did a little bit of a reporting back. There were some sad announcements of some relatives from Turtle Island passing away, unfortunately, and there was also reporting back from the CTCN. Our brother Handin Mohammed, current president of IPAC, was reporting back on his work on CTCN. And then you go into the debrief of Article 6 of loss and damage, where we are at in the negotiations. And it is very important for people to know that the second week is more intense. If they thought like the first week was intense, then the second week is really going to knock their socks off. Second week started. The first meeting was indeed on 6.4, and because it's the first meeting of the CMA, the same people are on the table. So you don't have different people. However, the status is different. So before it was under SUBSTA, a subsidiary body of COP. Now you're actually dealing with it's supervisor body, the CMA. So you have so the first meeting was an informal consultation of the first of the CMA in relation to Article 6.4, and what we heard today was interesting, because then you start to see the fruits of your labor in terms of like sending out emails, doing lobbying, doing advocacy based on your position paper. Because there's quite a number of states that took the floor in favor of human rights and in favor of and rights of Indigenous peoples, integrity, observer participation, and those are all super important issues, and that is very important that states hear from other states that human rights and rights of Indigenous peoples is a priority for some of them. So if you look across the board, like if you put it all into, of course it's good to hear like as much as possible like rights of Indigenous peoples and human rights. However, if you think about it, you need to be aware like which country is saying what. And if you see then that there's only one or two regions actually taking the floor on an issue, so for example human rights and rights of Indigenous peoples, that is not enough, because what you want to create is have like the global spread, and that we talked about this before, is that you have countries from as many regions as possible that to cover or support the rights of indigenous peoples and human rights. So we're still lacking in that. We still need to make some progress in that. We need to start picking up the pace, actually. This is not something that, all right, they said something and it's cool and we'll just leave it at that. No, it's actually like, it's different. You actually have to continue doing the work and actually expanding, like making sure that there's many more states that are actually supportive of our positions. Quite a number of states take the floor, so what we'll do is we'll keep building on them. And what I mean with that is we keep informing them, making them stronger. And what we're also going to do is to approach states from the global south, for example, and see what their views are and have exchange of views. There's an increasing amount of parties that not increasing amount, starting to become set their agendas. So you can also see a number of bilateral meetings being requested. Just now, some emails received for a suggestion for a time. Sometimes are a little bit more comfortable than others. What I mean is, like, it's super early, but hey, it's for a good cause. You're here for 2 weeks to do the work, to do what you need to be doing. So just to give you an idea, we're deadline. Wednesday will be a deadline for both 6.4 and 6.8. So we'll be working towards that and making sure that we are creating traction on particularly on 6.4, making sure that it is likely going to be sent back. I think that is almost like a given, but we need to make sure that it gets sent back with a proper timeline and high integrity work, which respects the rights of indigenous peoples and human rights, and includes robust processes for observer participation in the work. That could be submissions and other things as well. Some bilateral meetings happen today as well. We will keep pushing for having these meetings and exchange of views, and hopefully we'll be able to report something constructive and something that we'll be looking forward to the next couple of days. Right now, loss and damage is also still ongoing from indigenous people point of view. Still, we have the cover decision text that we want to push. The other thing that we want to see is the ability or the participation of indigenous peoples in the Santiago network, particularly its advisory board. So we're trying to build elements into the text to cover that. Conversation about the grievance mechanism still ongoing as well. But nothing robust. So there's just like ideas that are being floating around. So we'll probably see some I wouldn't call it prototypes, like ideas. Some ideas that could be shared over here. Principles that could be shared on those kind of things. What was interesting today was the support in terms of 6.4, indigenous peoples, human rights, hands down to Mexico. Mexico and its final input to the conversation on 6.4 read verbatim our position paper on the floor, and that even though, for example, United States only mentioned human rights, not even rights of indigenous peoples. So that is something that we can also say to the USA, for example, like, hey, Mexico did this, or to Canada, well, Mexico did this, so you need to better step it up because you're supportive of human rights and rights of indigenous peoples, then cough up what you need to cough up, and the support that you need, that we require at the very minimum when it comes to the respect of human rights and rights of indigenous peoples in the work of Article 6. So yeah, very much exciting day today, and what if I have to think of, I think that covered it. As some other offsite, like a Zoom meeting, but it was more in relation to the expert workshop on and participation, which is going to take place next week. So I have to start preparing for that as well. So yeah, I was doing this, but you also have to start thinking about the meeting that's going to happen in Geneva next week, which I'm going to straight from COP to Geneva. So it was good. It was nice. It was a productive day, and so we're looking at a song of the day, right? What's the song of the day? Can't remember his name, but let me look it up. John Farnham. John Farnham, you're the voice, because it's about the indigenous peoples that are actually doing the lobbying, and it all comes down to one person that steps up to a country and it's like, hey, I need you to do this. So it's not just the collective voice, but also the individual voice that counts. So John Farnham, You're the Voice is my song of the day today. So let me end with that. It's a quick and easy one. So I wish you a very good morning, evening, afternoon, or night, and looking forward to catching you on COP27 Daily Debrief Day 8. And today is my little sister's birthday. So happy birthday, Fadila. It's my little sister. So haven't called her yet, but I should be doing that in a little bit. Right. Have a good one. See ya.
We have the chance to turn the pages over. We can write what we want to write. We're gonna make ends meet before we get much older. Down the barrel of a gun, you're the voice, try to understand it. Make a noise and make it clear. We're not gonna sit in silence. We're not gonna live with fear. This time we know we all can stand together, with the power to be powerful. Believe that we can make it better. Oh, we're all someone's daughter. We're all someone's son. Down the barrel of a gun.
My friends, I hope you enjoyed this. Please consider to subscribe, to comment,
and to share this video on your socials.